Matthew for the Metal Gods Meltdown, and today I am joined by
Tony Mitchell from Mitchell's Kiss of the Gypsy.
It's great to be chatting to you today. Unfinished Business has been out a short while. How's the feedback been so far, and to the single that you recently released as well?
Well, the feedback's been really good so far, even though it's only been there was a slight delay on the release. So things are only just getting started now. So the little trickles of the review, well, not reviews, but the replies and the responses rather, are just about coming through now. But what we've had so far has been really, really encouraging. Runaways, the single, which was the lead track, has obviously got a really good response too. So we're quite glad about that.
Brilliant. Will you be releasing any more singles from the album?
I think it's hard to tell now, Seb, because people choose their own, don't they? They buy the album, they choose their own favourites. I mean, them days have gone where I tend to pick a track, or the radio station, record company pick a track, because it's always different. What I like is not necessarily what other people like. So literally, it's a box of chocolates. It's an old cliche, but there is a lot for everybody, you know. Yeah. And you know, hopefully it's captured that sort of early 90s rock vibe.
So it really is unfinished business for Kiss of the Gypsy. Are there hopes that you might take the band out on the road?
Well, there's every chance. I started this project by when I was writing and recording the new solo album, which is my fourth album, which was going to be called Top of the World, which is still there in the, you know, it's 80% finished. I was looking at putting some bonus tracks on that album as a tribute to the Kiss of the Gypsy, because it's the 30th anniversary. So from bonus tracks, as they started, I had a choice of about 3 or 4, and they started really taking shape. And I thought, well, I'll see how it goes. And as I was writing them and getting more and more of a box of songs for that particular thing, it started taking off, and they sort of made sense. It made sense to sort of put the solo album on hold and pursue this one and put it out as an album on its own right, just basically to celebrate the 30th anniversary. There was nothing beyond that, to be honest, Seb, but these guys are great players, and if there's an appetite for it, then there's every chance we might slot in a few festivals or whatever.
That would be amazing, because of course Skin reformed, didn't they? And they did that. And
I don't know, did they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
right.
With Nev MacDonald and Mike Gray. Yeah, they did. They played Download, and that was quite something. I mean, Nev MacDonald is someone that's like underrated singer, absolutely. You know, but going back, God, it's 30 years. I remember watching you guys on Raw Power. I think it was with Phil Alexander, 1991. I actually recorded that show, and I remember it well. And I remember the James Wells show as well. He's still going strong. He's still going strong as well, just about, by the skin of his teeth.
Just about, that's right.
What would you say is your happiest memory from those days? I mean, there's going to be many.
There is a lot of good memories. I mean, it was almost like, because a lot of us, I mean, in the band grew up together, and it was almost like, you know, when you go on your first camping trip with your mates, and everything's dead exciting, and it's just fun, and everything's a joke and all that, but we have a good time. But when it came to music, it was very serious. So all them TV shows that we did, and the MTV live gigs and stuff we did, they were all brilliant. But I would have to say the happiest memories were the tours, all the gigs we did. The first tour with Winger was brilliant. Then I think we did the Great White, and we did the 5-man acoustical jam with Tesla, and we did the full show with Tesla, and then obviously we did Magnum, which took us to places like Birmingham NEC and Hammersmith Odeon, as it was then, and numerous times we did the Marquees and the Astorias and stuff. But yeah, they were great memories. And as I say, it was because we were in control of all that live thing. There was no sort of things to answer to with a record label and releases and things like that, which at times got a little bit chaotic. So I would put that on the highest the priority of times we had, with the good times that we had.
Cool. So apart from the single from the album, which song would you play me to fully introduce me to Unfinished Business if I'd never heard of you guys before?
I would probably Duty to Party is what we try to capture in that sort of good feel good sort of rock vibe of the early 90s. And also there was a thought of, over the last couple of years, because the years that we've had with the COVID and the pandemic and what, everyone wanted that relief and that release rather. So that was it, sort of let your hair down, kick off your shoes, the weekend's here. So possibly that. There's numerous other ones. There's obviously things like Time to Heal, which is very gospel and very spiritual, that a lot of work went into, as did Wild Horses. But it's one of those, again, Seb, you take your pick, but I think it's sort of captured that moment in time, I think.
And of course, when you guys were sort of like hitting it big, grunge came along and messed up everything. And for a lot of bands, it was a struggle and lots folded. Do you sometimes look back at that time and wish and think, if only that hadn't happened?
Well, yeah. I mean, we're lucky. We're lucky to have a bite of the cherry. I can't argue with that. Lots of bands just, was around at the time, as good, if not as better than us at the time, who never got a chance what we did. But unfortunately, when we were signed to Atlantic, in America, and we had the album in the bag. We did our tour with Winger, and things were really high. We were the talk of the town, sort of thing. So if we'd have released it in '91, which it was originally supposed to be released, it would have been a different story. But the Atlantic offices folded in England, so we sort of shuffled to East West, which originally passed on us when we did showcases for them and things. They didn't see it as a priority whatsoever. We wasn't hands-on with them. We didn't really click. They decided to put it back a year, which proved to be very, very critical, really, in our sense, because the album went out. We weren't on tour. We'd already done a lot of tours by then, and obviously the grunge movement hit big. So we were coming out. Here's Kiss of the Gypsy, a hard rock, blues, whatever you want to label it as, and then you're in the middle of Pearl Jam and Nirvana, and that's what the kids wanted, So
it was, yeah, I know. And of course, since Kiss of the Gypsy, you've done a hell of a lot of work with some of the world's music icons, Ozzy Osbourne, to name but a few. Is there an extra special collaboration that you've done that you're most proud of, though?
I don't know about a collaboration, but when I did the British Rock Symphony in 2000, that came out of the blue because I wasn't really gigging as much. I was gigging locally, doing acoustic shows and what have you, but I was mainly writing, getting my own company together, which was ex-Gypsy Productions. I started that then, but I got a call from Pete Smith out of the blue asking if I'd like to sing and play guitar with the likes of Alice Cooper, John Anderson, Alan Parsons Project, Tony Hadley. The band, I was part of the band and the solo artist because they wanted me to do a spot of my own, because it was like 96 people on stage. There was choirs, there was orchestras. It was huge. It was absolutely huge. And such a little time to do it in. And I had to be the lead singer of Alan Parsons Project, which, I'll be honest with you, I'd never heard of.
I've heard of it. I don't know any songs.
I said, did he not do The Sale of the Century? And he said, no. Honestly, that's my reply. I didn't know it was Alan Parsons. Was it Alan Parsons? No, I don't remember his name. It was something like Nicholas Parsons. That was it.
Right.
So no. But when I got there, I did it. But it was amazing. It was absolutely packed out arenas every night, and singing with those guys, because we all took a part as well, and singing with Alice Cooper and playing guitar for Alice Cooper. That was another thing, when we did all that, and playing guitar for John Anderson. It was hard work, but it was good. Apart from that, the only collaboration, latest one was with not so much a collaboration, but he guested on a song that I did on one of the albums, Danny Vaughan, when we did.
All right, okay, so yeah,
when we did Mighty Fall, which was incredible. It was quite an honour for me. But
awesome. Okay, then. So, sort of a similar question in a way. If you could make up a supergroup of musicians, dead or alive, who would you choose, including yourself?
Oh, I don't think I'd make a supergroup, Seb. Not unless you want some rough old vocals on there and some dodgy guitaring. I don't know. No, I don't know. I think for different reasons. I mean, I've always loved vocalists such as Brad Delp. Quite left field for me, but Brad Delp from Boston. I like Lou Graham from Foreigner. I'm quite old school, to be honest. Neil Sean guitars. I love Cozy Powell drums.
Yeah.
It goes without. So obviously, Ronnie James Dio is a vocalist. Yeah. Another icon of mine.
Yeah.
So yeah, all them players are brilliant, and I'm sure they'd make an awesome band.
Okay, back to Kiss and the Gypsy then. Can you tell us your best experience playing live with the band?
I'd like to say the NEC or the Hammersmith-Odeon, but the place was so big I couldn't actually see anything. I mean, the actual spectacle of it being there was amazing, but because we were so used to the crowds being on top of us. We got so used to that, and it was a connection thing. But no, I think experience. They'd probably go into America for the first time when we we shot the video and then went to America to do some shows for the record company and the people in suits, as it were, and then we shot video over there too. But yeah, they were all good times. Taking the whoopee cushion in the lift of the Rockefeller Plaza. That's always good for a chuckle.
Yeah. Brilliant. And could you tell me what was one of your worst experiences on stage? And have you had like a major disaster, forgotten words? I don't know.
Oh God. yeah, I can actually. I did a gig. I think it was the Marquee. We did the Marquee. And I used to wear some jeans that were all ripped, and there was an American flag on the crotch. And it was always ripping and getting sewn up by the backstage staff and stuff. Well, we used to do, I think it was Promised Land, and then we'd finish. Oh no, that's right. No, we'd do Infatuation. So we're jumping around. I've got no guitar on. I'm jumping around. And so I finished that. And then I picked my guitar up to do No Prize for the Loser. And I can see there's a lot of people in the front row, and they're all pointing, going, and I'm just going, yeah, okay, all right, nice to see you, Then they said, did it keep doing it? I'm going, yeah. And I've got my guitar on the side, you see. So when I'm singing, I usually have it on the side. So when I finally pulled it up to play, I felt this. Oh, that's not right. I looked down and my dick was hanging out of my pants, and it was rubbing against my guitar.
That's class.
Yeah, well, that's what they were pointing at. I was quite impressed that it actually got out of the pants, But it was there, and all I could think of, I said to Martin, we used to call him Mal. Yeah. I said, Mal, my dick's out. And he turns around, he says, what am I supposed to do about it? So it was just one of those moments that I had to try and shuffle my way by turning around and sort of pointing to the drums and just, readdressing the situation. But yeah, that was quite an embarrassing moment.
That could have been a TikTok viral,
Absolutely. Thank God there was no mobile phones at that time.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Oh, good, right. Okay. So the next question is, can you tell us why we should check out Unfinished Business?
Like I said before, Seb, I think what we've done, we didn't want to, we didn't want to do it to rip up any trees to say we're back or anything like that. Wanted to do it because it was a piece for 30 years. We had to do something for the 30 years anniversary. We owed it to ourselves, and also I had these these ideas anyway. So basically, the concept of the thing was just good old-fashioned rock and roll without any virtual signaling or anything like that. Just so people could stick it on, turn it up, have a good time listening to it. And that's why I think, people would probably enjoy it. So my suggestion was go buy it, check it out, and turn it high, and you'll enjoy it.
Absolutely. Can you give us 4 words then to describe Kiss of the Gypsy?
4 words.
4 words, yeah.
4 words. One hell of I was gonna say one hell of a ride, but that's 5. Can I just take the A out?
Yeah, that'll do. Do you have any final words for your fans, our viewers and listeners?
Yeah, just a massive thank you. That's another reason why we did this album. It's a massive thank you, as you'll see on the credits for the album, to all that supported Kiss of the Gypsy and my projects over the years. It's just a thanks to everyone that has done it in the past and continues to do so. And long may it continue.